Cairn Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @CairnReview. That is @CuandReview. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@cuandreview.com. That is INFORMATION @CuandReview.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast is published on Wednesday the 5th of March 2025 and is read by volunteers Hunter, Ian, Nikki, Philip and Rebecca. And we hope you enjoy the podcast. Council faces balancing act. Report by Kevin McRoberts. Councillors in Eastern Bartonshire will meet this week to agree their budget for the upcoming financial year and decide the level of increase in council tax. A report for Thursday's meeting indicates the council is budgeting for expenditure of £379.127 million in 2025-26, with income expected to be £355.181 million. That leaves a shortfall of £23.946 million, with councillors tasked with finding the best way to bridge this financial gap. The report acknowledges that Eastern Bartonshire Council is facing increasing financial challenges and notes the scale and scope of these challenges continue to be significant, with Audit Scotland and the Accounts Commission noting the increasing severity of the financial pressures. Figures produced in December indicated the Council's general fund expenditure was expected to increase by around £34 million, with pay costs, contractual price inflation and other service charges accounting for much of this. However, following receipt of the Scottish Government's Budget and Financial Circular, there is a requirement for the Council to increase expenditure by a further £10.324 million to deliver a number of shared priorities, such as teacher numbers, free school meals, the real living wage, discretionary housing and Scottish disability payments. A number of management and operational efficiencies have been identified to help reduce the funding gap, along with further savings. An increase in council tax, to be decided at the meeting, is required to meet the remaining shortfall. And that report was by Kevin McRoberts, and it was read by Ian McKenna. This week in history. March 6th, 1988. 3 IRA terrorists were shot dead by SAS men in Gibraltar. On this day last year, scientists uncovered what they believed to be the world's oldest fossil forest, dating back 390 million years, in the high sandstone cliffs along the Devon and Somerset coast. March 7th, 1965, state troopers and local law enforcement assaulted 600 civil rights marchers in Selma, Alabama. The event was dubbed Bloody Sunday. On this day last year, Sweden formally joined NATO as the 32nd member of the Transatlantic Military Alliance, ending decades of post-Second World War neutrality as concerns about Russian aggression spiked after the invasion of Ukraine. March 8th, 1983, President Ronald Reagan called the Soviet Union an evil empire. March 9, 1956, Britain deported Archbishop Makarios from Cyprus for actively fostering terrorism. March 10th, 1914, the Rokeby Venus by Velázquez in London's National Gallery was damaged by suffragettes. On this day last year, an Australian shepherd named Viking was crowned the best in show at the 2024 Crufts Dog Show at the NEC in Birmingham. And that was this week in history.
Cabinet to meet in Kirkintilloch A report by Kevin McRoberts. East Dunbartonshire residents will have the chance to put questions to First Minister John Swinney and his Cabinet later this month. The 54th Travelling Cabinet will meet at Kirkintilloch Town Hall on Monday, March 24, and hear from the local community at a public discussion at 2 p.m. Residents are invited to book their place for the meeting in advance. Ahead of the public discussion, the First Minister and Cabinet Secretaries will visit a number of projects in East Dunbartonshire to highlight the Scottish Government's 4 key priorities: eradicating child poverty, building prosperity, protecting the planet, and improving public services. First Minister John Swinney said, "I am looking forward to visiting East Dunbartonshire with the Cabinet to share the Government's priorities for the local area and hear from the residents what matters most to the community. Alongside the Deputy First Minister, I am looking forward to visiting projects that have made a positive impact on people's lives in the area before the Cabinet meets in Kirkintilloch Town Hall." The public discussion at 2 p.m. offers residents the opportunity to get involved, ask questions and share their insights directly with myself and the Scottish Government. Travelling cabinets help us shape and inform government decision-making as we strive to create a wealthier, fairer and greener Scotland. Registration details for the public discussion can be found at https://www.eventbrite.co.uk/. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by me, Nicky.
Inquiries into disturbance. Detectives are appealing for information following a major disturbance in Kirkintilloch. The incident happened around 5 p.m. on Thursday, February the 27th, in Donaldson Street near to Muirhead Street. 5 men aged 58, 57, 54, 48 and 34 have been arrested and charged and made an initial appearance in Glasgow Sheriff Court on Friday. Detective Sergeant Gary Boyle of CID said, "I am appealing for anyone who was in the area at the time and witnessed the incident to come forward. I would also ask residents who live in the area to check doorbell footage and motorists to check dashcam footage. You may have captured something that can assist us in our investigation." Anyone with any information is asked to contact Police Scotland on 101, quoting 2609 of Thursday, February the 27th, 2025. Residents urged to make more use of recycling bins. With general waste collections being reduced from next month, East Dunbartonshire residents are being encouraged to make the most of the recycling options available to them. The Council is also reminding the public the types of plastics that can be deposited in brown bins have been expanded in recent years. As well as plastic bottles such as shampoo, detergent and drink bottles, the Council accepts additional plastics from its curbside recycling collections, including carrier bags, bread bags and vegetable bags, plastic trays for microwave meals, fruit punnets or biscuits, plastic tubs such as margarine or ice cream tubs, plastic pots such as those for yoghurt, puddings, noodles and soup, clean tin foil. Plastic recycling in brown bins and paper and cardboard in blue bins will continue to be collected every 2 weeks. Green bins for garden waste will also be emptied every 2 weeks from March to November, although households require a permit for this service. There is an annual charge of £50 and permits can be applied for online at www.easternbarton.gov.uk/garden-waste-collection. Alternatively, residents can call customer services on 0300 123 4510 or visit one of the community hubs. A comprehensive list of what can go in each of the bins can be found on the bins and recycling page of Eastern Marcher Council's website. Residents can also request additional recycling bins online or by calling customer services.
Bin changes can boost recycling by Kevin McRoberts. An Eastern Bartonshire councillor is encouraging residents to maintain and improve the area's good record for recycling, while also seeking to justify changes to general waste collections. There has been considerable criticism of the council's decision to move to a 3-weekly cycle for general waste, grey bin collections, which will come into effect from March the 30th. But Councillor Paul Ferretti, convener of the Council's Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee, has highlighted environmental reasons as well as the obvious financial implications behind the decisions to reduce the frequency of collections. Councillor Ferretti said, "The financial challenges facing the public sector are widely known. The Council has a challenging budget gap that has to be bridged. This was a very difficult decision that we had to take at last year's budget to ensure the ongoing financial sustainability of the Council. The Council has held on until now before making a change, but in the last few years an increasing number of councils in Scotland have moved to a 3-weekly or even 4-weekly collections for general waste. The Council wants to encourage more recycling while reducing what is sent to landfill and reducing operation costs against the backdrop of continual financial challenges facing local government. The collection frequency for recycling and garden waste will remain unchanged at 2 weekly and food waste will remain weekly." Councillor Ferretti continued, "The population of Eastern Bartonshire is highly engaged when it comes to recycling, with local support typically among the highest in the country. I'd like to say a big thank you to all residents who are currently recycling for their fantastic efforts, and I'd encourage others to support and make use of the recycling provisions we offer. Residents can also request additional recycling bins at no extra charge to help manage their waste and increase the volume of material that is recycled. A recent waste compositional analysis revealed that over 60% of the items being put into grey bins across Eastern Bartonshire could be recycled. Remembering to recycle correctly will help us to reduce general waste, reduce the Council's carbon emissions, and achieve both recycling and landfill reduction targets. As well as moving to a 3-weekly cycle for general waste collections, there will be some changes to bin routes, so some residents could find their collection day will change. New routes will be published over the oncoming weeks, and the bins and recycling page of Eastern Bartonshire's Council website, so everyone should have this information before 3-weekly collections are introduced on March the 30th. A list of street names and new collection dates will also be printed into booklets that will be available to view at any of the Council's community hubs. Report written by Kevin McRoberts and read by Rebecca.
Gangland leader must repay £125,000. A report by Kevin McRoberts. An extradited serious crime group leader who was jailed for orchestrating the importation of controlled drugs from South America has been ordered to repay more than £125,000 under proceeds of crime laws. Paul Fleming, 40, from Kirkintilloch, was sentenced to 9 years in prison at the High Court in Stirling in August 2023 after admitting directing numerous other gangland associates in serious organised crime. He was a key figure behind an elaborate scheme to flood Scotland with cocaine from Brazil, Colombia and Bolivia. At the High Court in Edinburgh last week, the court made a confiscation order in the sum of £125,970.96 and recorded that the benefit of criminal conduct was £1,841,903.69. The confiscation order can be revisited if further assets are identified in the future to be paid towards the full amount that was determined as the benefit of the crime. The assets confiscated include cash seized from Fleming's home, valuable watches and other high-value goods. Sineadine Corrins, Deputy Procurator Fiscal for Specialist Casework at the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service, COPFS, said, "Proceeds of crime orders are a vital tool to disrupt crime in Scotland and one of the many ways we can target those who try to profit from illegal activity. We will not stop at prosecution. The Crown has the power to extend orders to seize money and assets Paul Fleming acquires in the future to pay back the full amount he made from his crimes. Even after convictions are secured, the Crown will apply to the court to pursue orders to ensure funds obtained illegally are confiscated. If he acquires further money or assets in the future, the Crown can apply to the court to increase an order, and we will do this in appropriate cases to ensure the full amount made from the criminality is recovered. The money recovered is reinvested into our communities through the Cashback for Communities programme. During a previous hearing, the court heard Fleming was also instrumental in setting up a fake company to smuggle drugs from Spain to Scotland inside solar panels, but his plots were thwarted following the arrest and convictions of several men linked to Fleming who were involved in the distribution of drugs and money laundering offences. 2 intelligence-led Police Scotland operations, Operation Fertile and Operation Buggy, revealed the full extent of his offending. Prosecutors had told the court how Fleming left Scotland for Spain with his family in October 2018 after he and his wife were arrested. This came after a police search of his car revealed £37,000 in cash, while £50,000 worth of luxury watches were also found in his home. A complex multi-agency operation involving prosecutors, Police Scotland and Spanish authorities followed, and in June 2022 he was arrested in Alicante. Fleming was then extradited back to Scotland from Spain in March 2023. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Proposed taxi fare increase. Consultation is taking place on updated taxi fares and charges in East Dunbartonshire. It is proposed to allow operators to increase the maximum amounts which can be charged by 3% and to amend other charges. The Council is required by law to regularly review fares and charges. Initial consultation took place with taxi operators, booking offices and trade associations last year. The consultation response from a trade association acknowledged the challenges being faced by communities, but suggested revised charges to take account of rising pressures, including vehicle licence, insurance and inspection costs. The Council is proposing to allow a 3% rise in maximum fares, except for the extra charge for hires to, from the drop-off pick-up zone at Glasgow Airport, which will increase to £5.50. The Council will consider all representations received by April the 4th before reaching a final decision. Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of the Council and convener of the Policy and Resources Committee, said, "Following consultation with the taxi trade, a new framework of fares and charges has been proposed. Please find out more by visiting the webpage www.easternbarton.gov.uk/taxi-fares-2025. In addition, further engagement will take place with the taxi trade with a view to undertaking a wholesale review of scales, including distances and additional charges, with a report to follow in due course."
Have your say on areas' economic development. A report by Julie Curry. Consultation is taking place to help shape a new economic development strategy for East Dunbartonshire. The strategy aims to support jobs, productivity, investment and access to goods and services while boosting locals' well-being. East Dunbartonshire Council is asking residences, businesses and organisations to complete online surveys at www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/EDS-2025 by March 31. The surveys aim to identify everyday experiences and habits, the main economic challenges, including local and global issues, support measures for enhancing the local economy, and community aspirations for the future. In addition, drop-in sessions are taking place which will give locals the chance to speak to officers, access information, share their perspectives and provide feedback. The first of these sessions will be held in Milngavie Library in Allender Road on Wednesday, March 5, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Further sessions will then be staged in Lennoxtown Library on Wednesday, March 19, and Kirkintilloch Leisure Centre on Wednesday, March 26, both from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Responses will be used to create a foundation for developing a new economic development strategy, EDS, ensuring that it reflects local priorities. It is expected that a draft EDS, including background reports, policy framework, data analysis and research, will be considered by elected members in the autumn, after which there will be further public consultation. It is hoped a finalised strategy will be in place by early 2026. Councillor Paul Ferretti, Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee convener, said, "East Dunbartonshire's economy is vital for everyone, supporting jobs, businesses, access to goods and services, community prosperity and investment. Have your say and help to pinpoint priorities, opportunities and challenges for our people and our planet. The strategy won't be a magic wand, but it will provide a framework to encourage collaboration, coordinate actions and maximise resources, all aimed at addressing the evolving economic needs and challenges locally. It is important we hear from as many voices as possible, including members of the public, businesses, third sector and partner organisations, and underrepresented groups and minorities. The objectives of the new EDS include updating the economic baseline to provide evidence of the area's existing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, It also aims to define a renewed approach to local economic development that aligns with national and regional guidance, while preparing an action plan for the future along with a monitoring plan to measure its success. The Council is working on the new strategy with the Eastern Bartonshire Economic Partnership, which includes the Department for Work and Pensions, Dunbartonshire Chamber of Commerce, the Federation of Small Businesses, Skills Development Scotland, Eastern Bartonshire Voluntary Action, Visit Scotland, and Scottish Canals. It is also liaising with the Scottish Government, Glasgow City Region, local authorities, and a number of research institutions. This report was written by Julie Curry.
A new route for buses. Report by Julie Curry. Strathclyde Partnership for Transport has approved plans for a public consultation on the draft Strathclyde Regional Transport Strategy. The strategy aims to improve the bus network and includes SPT's proposals to develop bus franchising. It highlights the important role of buses in providing transport for communities and an alternative to car use, supporting wider aims for the inclusive economic growth, tackling inequalities, and reducing carbon emissions. This is contrasted with the challenges. Bus journeys are slower and less reliable for passengers, costlier to operate, increasing fares, and less convenient services, leading to fewer people using buses and leaving them stuck in a cycle of decline. Councillor Alan Warr, SPT Strategy and Programmes Committee Chairman, said, "The aim of SPT's regional bus strategy is to halt further decline and move to a cycle of growth to ensure a bus network that works for everyone, a network that attracts more people to use buses and ensures access for communities who rely on them for everyday travel needs. The strategy sets out what we need in the future: a better coordinated and more recognisable network with buses that are more frequent, more reliable, more affordable and easier to use. We need to do this with the support of all those collectively employed in the bus sector, fully harnessing all of our strength to stabilise the market and deliver reform. The draft strategy describes the network that is needed for the future. It includes delivering buses where and when they are needed, with reliable and quicker journeys. Affordable and attractive fares and ticketing, along with accessible and safer journeys, are also part of the strategy. SPT is also proposing to develop bus franchising arrangements for the areas it covers, including in Eastern Bartonshire. However, given the complex and lengthy process to develop and implement franchising, SPT firmly believes that action is needed between now and implementation. It plans to work directly with partners and its voluntary partnership arrangements to drive improvements and invest in bus infrastructure and traffic management while the case for franchising is developed. Now that the draft SRBS has been approved by the committee, SPT will start a public consultation on the document in early March. It will last for 12 weeks to give everyone the opportunity to comment. SPT Chairman Councillor Stephen Dornan added, "Being able to franchise bus services will also support wider investments in sustainable transport. It offers the opportunity to create a fully integrated transport system that works for everyone. Delivering better bus services is the first step on that journey. Everything SPT is working to deliver is part of a much bigger opportunity to make a positive change for people in the west of Scotland." Further details of the public consultation will be released shortly. Once the consultation is completed, SPT intends to take a final version of the strategy back to committee later this year. And that report was written by Julie Curry and read by Ian. Bishopbriggs Academy gearing up for STEM Challenge. Report by Kevin McRoberts. A team of young engineers from Bishopbriggs Academy is preparing to showcase their technical expertise on the national stage. Team Wyvern, a group of students competing in the prestigious F1 in Schools competition, has earned their place in this month's UK finals as one of 3 schools representing Scotland. F1 in Schools is an international STEM or STEM challenge that pushes students to apply engineering, physics and business acumen in designing, manufacturing and racing miniature Formula 1 cars. The competition demands precision, creativity and an in-depth understanding of aerodynamics, with teams in a race to finish to produce the fastest, most efficient model. The Bishopbriggs Academy team consists of 6 young people from across the school's year groups. They are Alexander Kai, 17 and 6th year, team leader in engineering. Dearbill McGrory, 17 and 6th year, design engineer. Toby Falaye, 15 and 4th year, finance and sponsorship manager. Arwen MacArthur, 16 and 5th year, social media and marketing manager. Jonah Brooks Heffetz, 17 and 6th year, manufacturing engineer. Zara Ahmed, 16 and 5th year, graphic designer. Team Wyvern's journey has been a success, with the crew securing a podium finish of 2nd place at the regional finals and taking home the coveted Fastest Car award. Their current project incorporates cutting-edge aerodynamic principles, precision engineering and lightweight materials to achieve optimal speed and stability. The team's meticulous approach includes iterative testing, computational fluid dynamics simulations, and precision machining of components to enhance their car's performance. The competition goes beyond science and engineering, with the team members responsible for sponsorship acquisition, marketing, and strategic branding to secure essential resources for their competitive journey. Limited facilities within their school means they rely on external support to access specialist tools and equipment to optimise their car's performance. With the UK finals in Sheffield fast approaching, Team Wyvern faces the challenge of further refining their car's performance while balancing logistics, travel arrangements, branding and all the associated expenses. During a recent visit to Allied Vehicles Postle Park headquarters, Team Wyvern presented their project to a panel of staff and directors, including 2 of the company's engineering managers. Recognising their precision, innovation and technical expertise, Allied made the decision to sponsor the team with a £2,500 contribution, ensuring their path to the national finals. Ms Marie Gilfillan, the operating teacher at Bishopbriggs Academy, who supervises the team, thanked Allied Vehicles for the sponsorship. She said, "Bishopbriggs Academy is thrilled to partner with Allied Vehicles and have them join our journey towards achieving success in F1 in schools. With their help and commitment to our team, they are not only providing us with the resources and materials, but also supporting the next generation of engineers." Team leader Alexander Kai explained the impact of the sponsorship on the team's operation. "We'd like to say a massive thank you to Allied Vehicles for their generous support of the Wyvern racing team and helping to facilitate STEM opportunities in our community," he said. "Their commitment will not only help Team Wyvern Racing perform to the best of our abilities, but also to inspire the next generation of engineers and innovators. With their partnership, we can strive to win the competition, create a lasting impact on STEM education, and inspire local students to pursue careers in STEM. And STEM is science, technology, engineering and mathematics." The Bishopbriggs Academy's team's efforts highlight the dedication and ingenuity of young engineers striving to make an impact in STEM fields. Commenting on the high quality of the team's work, Greg Bernard, Mechanical Engineering Manager at Allied Vehicles, said, "To see this standard of research and engineering coming from young people of high school age is incredible, and the level of engineering, business and marketing skills that Team Wyvern presented to us was extremely impressive. It is refreshing to see a STEM initiative combining engineering theory with traditional and modern manufacturing methods, and, if these young people are any indication, the future of our industry is in safe hands. We are delighted to support them in the UK finals and can't wait to see them in action." With Allied support, Team Wyvern is on track to go head to head with the best teams in the UK for the top spot in the podium. F1 in schools will be rebranding to STEM Racing and will be the latest organisation to be given the Supported by Formula 1 designation. The core mission of the programme remains to enable students worldwide to pursue STEM subjects in their education with a view to a potential career in motorsport. And that article was written by Kevin McRoberts. Property price rise. House prices in East Dunbartonshire increased slightly in December. Figures from the Office for National Statistics show the average East Dunbartonshire house price in the year to December was £258,625, a 0.2% rise on November. The picture was different to that across Scotland, where prices decreased by 0.5%. The rise in East Dunbartonshire contributes to the longer-term trend in the area, which has seen property prices in the area grow by 2.8% over the last year. It means the area ranked 29th among Scotland's 32 local authorities for annual growth, with the average price in East Dunbartonshire rising by £6,900 over the past year. The highest annual growth in Scotland was in Inverclyde, where property prices increased on average by 11.1%, and the article was unattributed.
Potted history of ceramics. See how the earth and imagination mix to create magic at the latest exhibition in the Old Kirk Museum. The Kirkintilloch venue is hosting Pottering Around, a decade of participants and tutors' work from Saturday, March the 8th to Tuesday, April the 15th. It's a free showcase of the super ceramics created during courses which have been running at the Barony Chambers next to the Old Kirk. Facilitator Meredith Crone has been providing inspiration, firing up imaginations and working with promising potters locally for the last decade. The official opening is this Saturday, March the 8th at 2:30pm, all welcome. Councillor Jim Gibbons, Chair of East Dunbartonshire Leisure and Culture EDLC Trust, said, "Whether you're an arts enthusiast, a casual observer or just someone who's curious about the magic of clay, this exhibition aims to captivate and inspire. As well as exploring a wide range of pottery styles and techniques, you can also find out a bit more about why people love the art form, which combines creativity, skill and patience, resulting in unique and beautiful creations. Pottering Around courses are held regularly as part of EDLC's ongoing Get Creative programme, which seeks to tap into East Dunbartonshire history as a home for artists and manufacturers. For more information on the Creative Arts programme, visit www.edlc.co.uk/heritage-arts/creative-arts-programme. The Old Kirk Museum is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10am to 1pm and 2pm to 5pm. Admission is free.
Wednesday the 6th of March 2025. Family announcements. Deaths. Harkins Nicholas, suddenly and unexpectedly surrounded by his loving family at Queen Elizabeth University Hospital on Saturday, February the 22nd, 2025, when the sun was shining. Nicholas, Nicky Harkins, loving husband to Judith, adoring father to Dylan, Neve, Erin Rose and Corey, much loved son of Jim and Chris, and big brother to Kevin, Anthony, Liam and Jane. His spirit will live on through his children, and we will all hold him in our hearts forever. Reception and vigil at St Dominic's Roman Catholic Church, Bishopbriggs, on Thursday, March 13th at 6pm. Funeral Mass on Friday, March 14th at 10am. Thereafter to Cadder Cemetery at 11:15am. No flowers, please. Family would request that those wishing to honour Nicky's memory kindly consider making a donation to a cause incredibly close to his heart and in which he was so personally invested. Henry, Sarah Agnes, peacefully at home on February 24th, 2025. Beloved wife of the late John, a much-loved mum, Nana, great-nana and great-great-nana. Funeral service will take place on Monday, March 17th, 2025 at St Mary's Parish Church, Kirkintilloch for 10:30am. Thereafter to Oldell Cemetery for 11:30am. Donations, if desired, to Strathcarron Hospice. Stirling, Darren. Suddenly at home on Friday, February 21st, 2025. Darren, beloved son of Jean, a much-loved nephew, cousin and friend to many. Funeral service will take place on Wednesday, March 12th at St Mary's Parish Church at 1pm. Thereafter to Oldell Cemetery. Donations will be gratefully received after the service in aid of Diabetes UK. Acknowledgements. Ingram, Margaret. Charity would like to thank family, friends and neighbours for their kindness and support shown in the loss of Margaret, a much-loved mum. Thank you to all who sent cards and flowers, and to Mrs Tyndall for a lovely service. Also thank you to Michael at J&D Lawson for funeral arrangements. In memoriam. Finlay, Dorothy. In lovely memory of our mum, gran and great-granny, who passed away a year ago on March the 7th, 2024. Thinking of you on this day, your spirit lives on in our hearts. Love, Elaine, Graham, Murray and family. And that was this week's family announcements.
Rise in energy bills leads to calls for social tariff. A report by Kevin McRoberts. With energy bills set to rise again in April, Mid-Dunbartonshire MP Susan Murray is backing calls for the introduction of a social tariff to protect vulnerable people living in fuel poverty. And that's something Advice Direct Scotland, which runs the National Energy Advice Service, energyadvice.scot, has also been calling for, saying persistently high costs are heaping more debts onto people who cannot afford it. Energy regulator Ofgem announced last week that the cap on what suppliers can charge will rise from £1,738 to £1,849 from April 1. This is a 6.4% increase in the current level and will see the average bill rise by £111 per year. The new price cap is £711 more than the amount that households were being charged before the energy crisis hit in the autumn of 2021, an increase of 62%. Scottish Liberal Democrat research recently found that 96% of Scottish adults who were worried about the cost of heating have changed how they heat their homes this winter to help keep bills lower. Susan said, "This latest increase in the energy price cap is the reason why Scottish Liberal Democrats prioritised securing a winter fuel payment for pensioners in Mid-Dunbartonshire in the Scottish budget after it was shamefully removed by the UK Labour government. However, there is more that needs to be done, as it was recently discovered that fuel poverty was at record levels across Scotland. That is a scathing indictment of the SNP government's failure to roll out insulation and other energy efficiency measures to households across Mid-Dunbartonshire. At the current rate, under the SNP's flagship scheme, it could take 100 years to insulate every home in Scotland. We need to see greater action from the Scottish Government to get to grips with rolling out insulation, to cut bills for families in Mid-Dunbartonshire, and the UK Government must now implement an energy social tariff to protect the many vulnerable people in mid-Dumbartonshire who are living in fuel poverty. Figures suggest around 861,000 of all households in Scotland are in fuel poverty, with 491,000 households in extreme fuel poverty. Connor Forbes, Advice Direct Scotland Policy Director, said people are paying hundreds of pounds per year more than they were before the energy crisis, and this situation simply cannot continue. This is why we've been calling for a UK-wide social energy tariff, which would go some way to fixing the country's broken energy market and lifting people out of fuel poverty. Our view is the most vulnerable households should automatically be placed on the cheapest energy deal through an opt-out system so they do not have to take any action to benefit. For now, people can take practical action by examining the bills, finding out how much they are paying, and checking if there are cheaper options available with other suppliers. Anyone experiencing difficulties with energy bills should visit www.energyadvice.scot or call 0808 196 8660 for free, impartial advice and support. And that article was written by Kevin McRoberts.
Wednesday the 5th of March, the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyscotland@gscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @@GNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Babies with addictions. Sir, not only was I shocked, but I found it almost impossible to accept a headline which read 1,500 babies born addicted to drugs. Research has found that since 2017 at least 1,501 babies in Scotland were born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, NAS, showing signs of drug addiction because their mother was taking legal or illegal drugs during pregnancy. Scotland continues to have a far higher rate of recorded drug deaths than other European nations, including other parts of the UK. Scotland averaged 277 deaths per million people aged 15 to 64 in 2023. Data from European Union Drugs Agency. The data revealed that people living in the most deprived areas of Scotland were more than 15 times as likely to die from drug misuse than those in the least deprived areas. Clearly, there is an urgent need to do more and invest more in preventing drugs deaths. SNP Cabinet Ministers have admitted that they've deprioritised the issue to focus on independence, while Nicola Sturgeon cut the budget for drug and alcohol services. The Liberal Democrats want to see the Scottish Government rolling out a nationwide network of new drug-checking facilities and giving people who are misusing drugs treatment instead of prison. Yours, etc., Finlay Craig, by email. Private practice. Sir, the Scottish Government is constantly reassuring us that the NHS is in safe hands and there is no requirement to use the private sector to reduce waiting lists. Recently released figures show that, in Scotland, the number of people waiting for more than 2 years for a procedure at the end of last year was 10,869. In England, the number was around 100. This was mostly down to the NHS in England using the private sector for a wide range of procedures. Neil Gray and John Swinney really need to take note of their neighbours' efforts, however much it might pain them. Yours, etc., Jim Houston, by email. Aid cut to buy bullets. Sir, the UK government has plunged new depths as it proposes to balance increased defence spending in the backs of the world's poorest by slashing development aid. This move also breaks Labour's manifesto pledge to restore development spending, which had been cut by the Conservative government. The cut in aid is not just a moral dereliction of duty, but on a practical level is a false economy, making the world less safe. As General Mattis, President Trump's Defence Secretary in his previous administration, said, "If you cut the foreign aid budget, you're going to have to buy me more bullets." It is amazing how a visit to a US President by a Prime Minister, stammer, can focus the mind, as the Labour government continues to dance to President Trump's tune and turns ploughshares into swords. Yours, etc., Alex Orr, by email. Dog theft legislation. Sir, as a much-loved member of the family, the theft of a pet has a devastating effect on their owners. Never knowing what has happened to them, if they are safe or suffering abuse, can have a lifelong impact of grief and a deep sense of loss. We warmly welcome the introduction of the Maurice Golden's Dog Theft Scotland Bill, and thank him for bringing it forward. It is an important step forward in acknowledging that dogs are not property, they're important members of the family. We very much hope that this will lead the way for other animals to be protected in the future. Yours, etc., Diane James, Head of Pet Loss Support, Blue Cross. Naked Emperor. Sir, who said, under a Labour government we would freeze energy bills, we wouldn't allow them to go up? It was, of course, the now Prime Minister back when he was leader of the opposition. He actually committed to using the excess profits of oil and gas companies to pay for his promised freeze. With energy bills set to rise again in April, following a 1.2% increase in January and a 10% hike last October, it looks like Sir Keir was prepared to say pretty well anything if he thought it would win the votes. When it comes to keeping promises, it would appear our Emperor has no clothes, apart from the ones gifted to him by Lord Ali, that is. Yours, etc., Alan Woodcock, by email. And that was this week's letters page, date Wednesday the 5th of March.
Cruise Charity's 40th Anniversary, by Kevin McRoberts. The Kirkintilloch branch of Seagull Trust Cruises has been looking back at another successful year as it celebrates its 40th anniversary. The branch recently held its annual general meeting in St Columbus Church Hall, where Ronnie Campbell, 94, former chairman and skipper, cut a celebratory cake as current chairman Graham Bickerstaff and other members looked on. Seagull Trust Cruises, Kirkintilloch, STCK, enjoyed another very successful year of operation in 2024, delivering over 453 sailing trips for the benefit of people who are disabled, disadvantaged or having special needs. In all, they carried 4,200 passengers on 3 boats specially adapted to carry wheelchairs, crewed and maintained entirely by volunteers, giving a wide range of customers a free, unique, warm, musical and welcoming barrier-free experience on the water. Graham said the branch depends on donations to fund their operations, combined with volunteers' time and effort to make it all work. Key successes in 2024 included completing the alteration of the Marion Seagull from a residential craft to a functioning day boat, upgrading the emergency pontoon decking on the canal with the assistance of Scottish Canals, and installing handrails, making it safer for passengers. We also recruited over 45 new members and fitted a custom-made companionway into the dry dock to make access easier and safer for working on the boats. For 2025, bookings are well underway for sailings starting on April the 7th. STCK plans to run 2 boats for regular trips, with a third as standby and for ongoing training. As demand increases and more trained crew are available, the branch hopes to add extra cruises. Graham added, "We are indebted to the many local businesses and organisations that support us with both free materials and cash donations, which are much appreciated." Report by Kevin McRoberts, read by Rebecca.
Raising awareness of tenants' rights. A campaign to increase awareness of tenants' rights has been launched by Housing Minister Paul McClellan. This includes information about where renters can go to access help and advice. Latest figures show that there are an estimated 1,420 private rented dwellings across East Dunbartonshire, accounting for 3% of total dwellings in the area. At a national level, the majority of private tenants, 84%, are satisfied with their housing, but research suggests tenants do not always know their rights or feel able to use them when a problem comes up. It's important that renters in East Dunbartonshire know how to use their rights, as tenants in Scotland have some of the strongest rights in the UK. These rights include the right to ask for a review of a rent increase and for landlords to give the correct notice period before increasing rent, protection from illegal evictions or being asked to leave a property without proper notice, the right to a rented home that is maintained to an acceptable standard. Mr McClellan said, "People who rent their homes in East Dunbartonshire already have strong rights when it comes to rent rises, maintenance and repairs and evictions. This campaign aims to make sure we increase awareness of these rights." Citizens Advice Scotland spokesperson Alfie Derry said, "The Scottish CAB network is here to help with free confidential advice for anyone who needs it. We need to see a rented sector that works for everyone, where everyone knows their rights and responsibilities, and clear information and access to redress when things go wrong." And that article was unattributed, read by Ian.
Good day to you. It's Philip here from Q Review, reading the local church news from the Kirkintilloch Herald. And again, we start, as I often do, with Milton of Campsie church news. The children from Milton of Campsie, Lennoxtown and beyond joined us on Sunday for Two a Penny, a real celebration of God's love for us. They celebrated with birdie biscuits, birdie bingo, bird feeders and bird hangers, feather, quill, calligraphy games, aerobics and, of course, singing. At the end of the last Sunday service, Julie updated the congregation on the progress of our proposed union with Campsie Church. The same presentation was made at Campsie Church and can be seen online. A steering group has been formed and we are aiming at a service of union at the end of November. World Day of Prayer on Friday, March the 7th is in St Mackin's Church, Lennoxtown at 6 p.m. Unity celebrations with St Paul's and St Mackin's and Campsie churches will take place during the second week of March. Our Minister Julie is now interim moderator at St David's Memorial Park Church in Kirkintilloch. Meantime, Cafe Connect is up on Tuesdays 9:30 till 12 noon. Time to pray on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. in the Eric Liddell Room, followed by a guild concert with the Anderson Singers entitled Playful Beginnings and raising funds for the Guild project supporting Crossreach. On Friday at 6:15, that is, BB, Anchor and Junior sections meet, and then on Mondays at 9:45 a.m, Baby and Toddler Group at 2 p.m, and the Hobbies Club is at 7:30 p.m, and the Badminton Club as well. And now we move to Kirkintilloch, to St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, March the 9th will begin at 11 a.m. as usual and be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities for our young people during the service in our church halls. Wednesday welcome continues on Wednesday, March the 5th, when tea, coffee and home baking together with a warm welcome will be available between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. There will be a short service taken by the minister at that time at 11 a.m. On Wednesday, March the 19th, the craft group will meet to knit hearts for the Jubilee Hospital from 9:30 a.m. until 12:30. Other knitters will be very welcome to join us to do some knitting for the Jubilee Hospital. Now we move to Torrance Parish Church. The morning service in person is at 10:30 a.m, conducted by the Reverend Stuart Irvin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in Crest Junior Church and the youth meetings as well. To join the service online, click on torranceparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday from 9 till 12 noon. Teas, coffees and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade meet on Wednesdays 7 till 9 p.m, P7 to S6 that is, and to find out about regular weekly activities, you got it, check out their website or their What's On, which is at www.tpc.org.uk. And now we're moving to Kirkintilloch Church of God, which is in the Regent Hall in Regent Street. On Sunday at 11:30 a.m, there will be a message from the Bible by Michael Johnson. Our next Sunday afternoon service is on Sunday, March the 16th at 4 p.m. This will feature the praise band, video clips and a good news talk from Dr. Carol Smith. A warm welcome to everyone who is able to join us. On Wednesday, Coffee Corner is open from 12 noon to 2 p.m. for coffee, home baking, etc. Join our friends and neighbours for a coffee and a chat. All welcome. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit their website. That's all the W's, regenthall.org. And the quote from the Bible this week says, "As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is flawless. He is a shield for all who take refuge in him." And that's from 2 Samuel. Now to Lenzie Old Church that is. Sunday worship is at 11 a.m. A creche is available for children under 3. The quilt and craft group meet every Wednesday 10 a.m. to 12 noon in the session room. Thursday afternoon club is on Thursday, March the 13th, 2 till 4 p.m. Enjoy tea, coffee and home baking, followed by a game of Scrabble, Dominoes, Rubik's Cube or Uno. If preferred, you can sit back and chat and or do your knitting. Come and Sing, the dementia-friendly singing group, meets in the church hall on Tuesday, March the 18th at 1:15 p.m. till 2:45. A warm welcome awaits all, and all, of course, they get a wee cup of tea and some delicious home baking. Please feel free to come and sing. Yes, do come along. And also not forgetting the Scottish country dancing is on every Thursday at 7:15 p.m. until 9:30. Come along for fun, fellowship and friendships. You'll be made very welcome. And now to Kirkintilloch Home Church in Lammermuir Road, and they have a sister church in the east end of Glasgow and Carlisle, and also the Kitchen Cafe Church in Skelmorley. This is a new venture from Home Church, the Strathclyde House there, and the cafe they have, Home Church has taken it over, and they've now started a cafe-style church there on a Sunday afternoon. So, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. And we find that in John 14. Sunday, March the 9th, 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. worship service, followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. There is also a creche and Sunday school evening service with communion on the 1st, 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month, as various locations. 6:30 on Monday, the ladies' prayer meeting at 7 p.m. Read through the Bible discussion on Zoom every fortnight at 8 p.m. Tuesday, the engine room at 9:30 a.m. Zoom Bible study at 2:30 till 4 p.m. Wednesday, prayer and Bible study groups in the church and online. Thursday, prayer meeting is in the church at 7 a.m. and then football at night at 7:30 p.m. Friday's youth group, 7:30 prayer meeting, and another 7:30 prayer meeting as well that same night. And home radio is available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for information for Carlisle, Home Kitchen Cafe Church, Skelmorley and Kirkintilloch. Now back to Lenzie Union Parish Church. The Sunday service is at 11 a.m. People, that is young people, are also welcome at the Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service will be available on YouTube. We also have the meeting place open for tea, coffee and home baking every Wednesday, 10 till noon in the new hall, and every Friday as well. They have the the Friday Coffee Group Club, or whatever they wish to call it these days. And let's not forget the Bridge Club meets on Wednesdays in the Old Hall at 1 till 3 p.m. Come and play this classic game. Yes, and as I mentioned, the coffee pot is on the Fridays as well. And let's not forget also the amazing group that come to meet and called Decaf, or Decafe, is on Monday, March the 10th at 1:30 p.m. till 3 in the new hall. The Decaf is a chance to talk with others, ask questions of our support worker Ryan from Kirkintilloch. The cafe is open to everyone affected by dementia. Come along and enjoy the chat, plus refreshments and perhaps a bit of music. The talk at Decafe will be learn how you can avoid falling. For more information, contact Claire Robertson at Lindsay Union Church. And then we have the SDMP Church, which is St David's as we know it. On Sunday, March the 9th, our service will return to the main church. It will be led by Karen Wallace and David Forsyth. We will continue our short study of the Book of Psalms, looking at the meaning of Psalm 122. Our Lent study will be continuing on Wednesday evenings during Lent, led by the Reverend Ruth Morrison. These study meetings are being held in the church hall and begin at 7 p.m. with tea and coffee available. The latest in our series of concerts in the church is on Saturday, March the 15th at 7 p.m. Come along and hear the Triptych Trio, strange name, Triptych Trio, yeah, and they're from Edinburgh, and they're based around a piano and a selection of specialising in performing a piano trio repertoire, which can be specially arranged for the unique combination of instruments. The concert begins at 7 p.m. and entree, or entry, if you wish to call it that, is by donation. All are welcome. Every Tuesday there is a short lunchtime service from 12 to 12 noon, that is until 12:30, held in the church hall. Join us after the service in the garden room for tea and coffee. Our guild have been running a friendship club on every alternate Tuesday. Summertime will be let me read that again. Friendship Club on every alternate Tuesday for some time, but we would like to expand this and invite everyone to join us if you are free. If you would like to enjoy the company there, come along, play Scrabble, a board game, do a jigsaw, help do a crossword, etc. We'd love to hear from you, or just come along for a blether. Yeah, I'd like to come along for a wee blether. You would be most welcome. For any more information about the church, then give the office a call at 0141 776 4989. Now to Bishopbriggs, to Kenmure Parish Church. Mr. Isaac McCleary, reader in the Church of Scotland, will lead us in our Sunday morning worship beginning at 11 a.m. Visitors to the area will be made most welcome. When they join us for our services, you can attend either in person or online, or on YouTube channel. The service on YouTube will be watched live as it's streamed, or you can watch it at a later time that suits you. You can find the channel by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. There will be a period of fellowship following the service in the hall, when teas, coffees and juice, etc. are served. The most up-to-date details of all groups that are currently running, yes, they may be. Yeah, if you want to find more details, check out their What's On and their website, kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. And if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group or receive then the emails, etc., then email them at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. And now to Bishopbriggs again, St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs, and the minister there is Paul Watson. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursdays, March the 6th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, March the 9th at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. With hymns in the church, everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship after the 10:30 Sunday service on Tuesday, March 11th at 1 till 3 p.m. The Tuesday Club meeting lunch followed by a talk by Tosh on spiritual care in chaplaincy. A £3 donation at the door. All are welcome to come along. The Lent group on Tuesdays, fortnightly at the Rectory, 7 till 8 p.m, March the 4th, 18th and April the 1st. Ash Wednesday services on March the 5th at 7 p.m. with imposition of ashes. and the World Day of Prayer service on Friday, March the 7th at 1:30 p.m. in St James Church. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, yeah, you guessed it, check out their social media, Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs, or the website stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. And that's the last of the church news for this week. Hopefully you can manage out to a church sometime this week, to one of the coffee clubs or one of the clubs where you can go along for a wee chat or a wee blather, and but especially on a Sunday morning or Sunday evening, whatever suits you is best. So thank you for listening thus far, and God bless you. My name's Philip.
District News, Wednesday, March the 5th. Meet Anne, a lovely 2-year-old crossbreed. Annie would be a loyal friend. Annie is a very sweet-natured girl who can be unsure of new people until she gets to know them, but once the bond has been made, she becomes an affectionate best pal. She loves attention from her human friends, enjoys a fuss and a snuggle, and loves to play with toys, so playtime is the best fun. Young Annie can be worried at times, so is looking for experienced and understanding owners who will give her the time and support to help build her confidence. She prefers to be walked in quiet areas away from other dogs and must be the only pet in her forever home. A secure garden where she can enjoy off-lead playtime is a must, as playing is her favourite pastime. More information at www.dogstrust.org.uk. Kirkintilloch Players, a community-based amateur theatre club based in the Turret Theatre, Eastside. Their next production is Girls Like That and Netting on March the 15th or 16th. For more information, visit www.kirkintillochplayers.co.uk. Holy Review, Scottish Child Payment is a Lifeline by Rona Mackay MSP. This year marks the 4th anniversary of the introduction of the Scottish Child Payment, one of the SNP's greatest and most transformative achievements in government. I'm delighted it has been providing a lifeline to so many families in need across my constituency. Almost £12 million in payments have been delivered in Eastern Bartonshire since 2021. This has helped to lift almost 3,800 local children out of poverty. Thanks to the SNP's Scottish budget, the payment will increase again from April to £27.15 per week, in line with inflation, to ensure its value and impact is maintained, with only Labour and Tory MSPs refusing to back it. The budget, which passed its final stage at the Scottish Parliament last week, will also include the scrapping of the cruel 2-child benefit cap, record funding for the NHS, and the restoration of winter fuel payments for pensioners, after Labour scrapped them across the UK. While Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar sits on his hands waiting for directions from his London bosses, under John Swinney's leadership, the SNP has listened to people's concerns and is taking strong action to deliver on their priorities. It's been another busy month in the constituency, and our wonderful local schools have been surpassing themselves again. Environmentally aware S2 pupils at Lindsay Academy triumphed in Top Climate Change Challenge Use Your Voice, and pupils plan to invest their £1,000 prize in an educational initiative focused on championing sustainability and biodiversity by building an apiary to host beehives on their school grounds. I was delighted to put forward a parliamentary motion at Holyrood commending pupils and dedicated teachers at Lindsay who encouraged their students to enter the competition to help drive positive change in the local community and demonstrate the impact individuals can have on the environment. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude for the many good wishes I have received after announcing my plan to retire ahead of the Scottish Parliament elections next year. It has been an absolute privilege representing the Strathkelvin and Bearsden constituency, and my team and I will continue to work hard in the constituency until next year. And that was a Holyrood Review by Rona Mackay MSP. Society of Antiquaries. The next meeting of the Kirkintilloch and District Society of Antiquaries is on Thursday, March 6 at 7:30 p.m. in the Park Centre, 45 Kerr Street, Kirkintilloch. Don Martin MBE will give a talk on Symington and the Charlotte Dundas. Horticultural Society. Our next meeting at Enterprise House will be on Thursday, March 20th, when Jim Germain will be telling us about Branklin Garden. New members are always welcome and can contact Paul Malcolm on 0141 578 1520 or visit www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. St Columba's Men's Club. At 7:30pm every Monday, St Columba's Men's Club meets in the Church Hall in Old Elm Road, Kirkintilloch, and offers a very warm welcome, together with the chance to play a bit of pool or snooker, dominoes, or even some table tennis, or just enjoy a cup of coffee or tea and a chat. Members comes from all around. If you would like more details, contact either Ian Gibb on 0141 776 5453 or Jim Kennedy on 07767 124 416. Glasgow, Martin O'Neill Live. A Celtic State of Mind is delighted to bring an audience with Martin O'Neill to Barra's Art and Design in Glasgow this March. Following the release of his fantastic life story, On Days Like These, My Life in Football, Martin joins us to chat all things football. O'Neill is a footballing figure who has seen it all in a playing career that brought 2 European Cup wins with Nottingham Forest. When he moved into management, Martin went on to become a legendary figure at Celtic Football Club, leading them to a treble in his first season and a European final in 2003. Thursday, March 27. Tickets at www.badglasgow.com. That's www.badglasgow.com. Gaelic Arts Plan. A new Gaelic Arts Plan has been introduced by Glasgow Life to safeguard, strengthen and celebrate Gaelic arts, music and culture in Glasgow. The Gaelic Arts Plan 2025 to 2029 aims to nurture and amplify one of Scotland's most important cultural identities within the city, which is the largest concentration of Gaelic speakers out with the Western Isles. The plan's launch reaffirms the charity's commitment to deliver and promote a broad spectrum of arts and culture which are relevant to all of the city's diverse communities, supporting inclusion, well-being and the local economy. The plan, an English and Gaelic language PDF, is available at www.glasgowlife.org.uk. That's www.glasgowlife.org.uk. And that was this week's District News, date Wednesday the 5th of March. Public notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. Members' surgeries. Councillors' arrangements for interviewing residents. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch, Eastern North and Twecker. Councillor Stuart MacDonald. 12th March 2025. The Hub, William Patrick Library. Service Room 1, 5:30pm to 6pm. Councillor Stuart MacDonald. 12th of March 2025. Hairstains Huts, 6:15pm to 6:45pm. Between surgeries, councillors can be contacted at the Member Support Unit on 0300 12345 10. Sport. Enjoying football is key to Charlie. Report by Brian Yule. Charlie Mulgrew hopes encouraging the players to enjoy their football will lead to his success in his first job in management. Capped 44 times for Scotland, the defender enjoyed a trophy-laden 6 years at Celtic, as well as having notable spells at Aberdeen, Dundee United and Blackburn Rovers. After hanging up his boots, Mulgrew began coaching at hometown club Kirkintilloch Rob Roy, before being named under-18s coach at Hamilton Accies. The 38-year-old has now been given his first job in senior management after replacing Michael Tidser in League One side Kelty Hearts. Mulgrew told the warm-up, "It's early days for me, but what made me want to become a manager is I see the game a certain way. I loved playing with Scotland, let's not get that mixed up. However, going away to, say, Belgium and being camped on your own 18-yard line is just so unenjoyable. I can understand why managers did that, because that's being defensively solid, but when I was at Celtic it was the complete opposite. We would just dominate games and it was so enjoyable. You walk into Celtic Park or the away ground and go, we're winning today. You grew up playing in the playground, having possession, and you enjoyed it. So I want to look at a team that is enjoying the game now by having possession, attacking and creating chances. I'm not deluded enough to think that's going to be every single game. There's going to be challenges, but in the main, I don't want to get attached to results too much. Of course, results are important, but I want to know how we've won and how we can be better, and, in my opinion, over time you'll have a style that wins games. There is a winner inside, and if you don't win, something doesn't feel right, but I want to see my team out there, a team that has possession, plays attacking football and creates chances. Hopefully that will lead to long-term success." And that report was written by Brian Yule and read by Ian McKenna. Scottish Football Museum is ranked in the top 3. Global search interest in the Scottish Football Museum skyrocketed by 4,000% over the last month. As a result, Live Football Tickets decided to see how it compares to others across Europe. It analysed customers' reviews on TripAdvisor and the cost of admission to rank the best museums for fans. The title of Best Football Museum in Europe goes to the Greek Football Museum in Chania, with a score of 9.7 out of 10. Of the 1,013 reviews, 95% rate the experience 5 stars, the highest among the top 10. The museum contains over 1,000 items and is one of only 2 football museums in Europe offering free entry. Second best is the Red Star Museum in Belgrade, Serbia, offering a below average entry price and positive reviews. It scores 8.5 out of 10. Since opening in 1985, fans have enjoyed the club's unique history and 608 objects on display. The Scottish Football Museum is the third best rated experience with an overall score of 8.4 out of 10. Costing £8 per person, it is one of the most affordable in Europe, alongside being the second highest rated on TripAdvisor at 4.78 out of 5. Adding to its appeal, the museum was awarded £51,914 for a partnership to explore the strong links between football and mining in Scotland, bringing fresh perspectives and new exhibits. The National Football Museum in Manchester sneaked into the top 10 with an overall score of 6.9 out of 10. It has an average score of 4.26, but an expensive entry price pulled it down the rankings. And the author of that article is unattributed. City returns to the top ahead of the league split. Report by Brian Yule. Glasgow City head coach Leanne Ross praised her players for getting themselves into the best position possible ahead of the SWPL 1 split. In the final game before the split, City won 4-0 at home to Motherwell, who have also earned a top 6 berth. This saw them return to the top of the table, ahead of Hibs on goal difference, as Rangers drew and Celtic lost. There were few chances in the first half, but City took the lead 3 minutes before the break when Emily Whelan found Brenna Lovera at the back post to fire home. City looked to double their advantage in the second period, with Kimberly Schmidt and Whelan denied by the crossbar, and well keeper Emily Much respectively. At the other end, it took the fingertips of Lee Gibson to prevent Jenna Perman equalising with a header, but in 70 minutes a second goal finally arrived. Lovera turned provider as her low ball across the goal found substitute Lisa Forrest, unmarked for a composed finish. Linda Mortaglio was introduced from the bench to make her second debut since returning from America. However, it was fellow sub Natalie Verobel who made her mark by helping herself to a late double. With 11 minutes left, Samantha Van Diemen strode out of defence to find the Polish international at the edge of the 6-yard box, and then 7 minutes later, the ball broke kindly in the box for Vrobel to smash in. Ross told the club's media team, "We got off to a bit of a slow start. Motherwell obviously sat in and made it difficult for us to play. We played into their hands by trying to play too high, but once we dropped off and drew them out to create spaces, I thought we broke them down a lot better. We asked the players to get us the 3 points to go into the split in the best possible position, so we've done our job." City take a break from league action this Sunday as they travel to Hearts in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. Rossvale lost 5-1 away to Livingston in the SWPL 2, with Nicole Kearney curling home a fine strike in the second half. They remain a point above Ayr United at the bottom of the table, and Rossvale head to leaders Hamilton Accies this Sunday. And that report was written by Brian Yule. Rob Roy Boss wants to see that sort of fight from now on. This article is unattributed. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy boss John Gibson hopes to see the same sort of fight for the remainder of the season as his side put up against Auchinleith Talbot in the South Challenge Cup. Following the 2-1 win away to Irvine Meadow in midweek, Rob Roy were hit by a combination of injuries and suspensions as they travelled to the Premier Division outfit. Gibson had to call upon several of the under-20s to boost the numbers, and it was perhaps no surprise that Talbot ran out 2-0 winners, with goals from Kel McAvoy and Neil McPherson. Despite the loss, Gibson was proud of the efforts his side showed, as they can now concentrate on getting out of the bottom 3 in the West of Scotland First Division. He told the club's media team, "It's a hard place to come, but the boys battled well, especially after putting so much into Tuesday night. We never really created any chances, but kept ourselves in the game for a long period. It was unfortunate we had suspensions and a couple injured, so we had to bring a few of the under-20s. In the second half, they all got on and can be proud of their efforts as they did well. We had a few struggling after Tuesday as well. Some managed to get through the game and I had to bring a couple of them off. However, that's the sort of fight we're looking for until the end of the season. It was a pretty tough weekend all round for the local sides across the West of Scotland leagues. The First Division saw Ashfield lose 6-1 away to Irvine Meadow, and Petershill were beaten 2-0 at home to Rutherglen Glencairn, while Caledonian Locomotives drew 1-1 at Cambuslang Rangers. Finnart did manage a 3-2 win at home to Vale of Leven in the Third Division, but Glasgow Perthshire lost 6-2 as they hosted Thorn Athletic, while the Fourth Division saw Rossvale lose 1-0 at home to Eglinton, and West Park United drew 1-1 as they headed to Carluke Rovers. Saturday fixtures: First Division, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy vs Maybole Juniors, Rutherglen Glencairn vs Ashfield, Vale of Clyde vs Petershill. Second Division, Caledonian Locomotives v Lanark United. Third Division, Ardere Thistle vs Glasgow Perthshire, Thorn Athletic vs Finnart. Fourth Division, Campbelltown Pupils v Rossvale, West Park United vs Kellow Rovers.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.